How you doing, guys? Today I'm going to run you through a little bit of an install on a Kufu quick release drawer system. So let's get into it and see how we go. Included in the quick release kit is all the brackets, locking tabs, any spacers and bolts you'll need. Also can option it with a battery pack that'll help you light up your drawer here. I find installing this sort of stuff, it's heaps better if you line up all the nuts, bolts, and all the bracketry where you want it and where it's meant to go. That way it's a little bit less overwhelming, and while you're doing it, you're not wondering where stuff's going, having to keep looking at the plans, and then also helps at the end of the day, you're not scratching your head wondering, why do I have all this handful of bolts left over? Have I made it better, or have I just stuffed it up? For this part of the install, you're gonna need yourself a 4mm Allen key, 5mm Allen key, and if you can find one, or you haven't lost it yet, a cheeky 10mm. Just going through now and putting all the locking tabs onto the cross members. Thought I'd just throw it as a time lapse because it's a bit repetitive. So we'll catch you on the other side. So now we're going to go through, we're going to bolt the locking panel over to these cross members, and we'll get that done. Now before you get it too tight, be a good idea to just check that it is still square. That way when you tighten it all up, it is actually going to slide into the drawer system properly. All right, we'll flip this around. Alright, I'm also probably going to just quickly check this on the drawer as well, just to make sure it's all square, it's sliding in nice and easily, and then I'll go through and I'll lock them off really tight. So now I've got the locking base all done and put together. I've put it inside the drawer like it would be if it was fully installed. I then set the drawer up where I want it to go, and now it's time to drill some holes. For this step you'll need a 70mm socket on a ratchet or a spanner. You'll also need a 6mm Allen key, and then something to measure your gaps, because you'll use these spacers basically between the low point of your tub and the highest point. Measure what that's going to be and try and find a spacer that's going to suit. If it doesn't suit, you can always stack a few washers until it gets to the right height. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a bit of a pilot hole drill bit, drill the first 2 holes that I want to do. Then we'll go back through, drill the final size hole. I'll then use these bolts to lock in the final location. Once I've done that, then I'll pull the drawer out and we'll go through and we'll put the rest of them in with the spacers and everything. All right, let's get into it. Now we can throw these through the holes, hopefully. I've made the holes the right size. Let's have a look. There we go. You might find they get a bit stuck just due to the tub lining that's sort of, because it's rubberized, it sort of doesn't really get out the way of the hole too well. There you have it. They're in place, and what we'll do now is I'll pull this drawer back out, and then we'll put the rest of the holes in, finalise all the spaces, and we're good to go. Alright, so we're going to go through now and drill the rest of these holes, and then we can finally bolt it in and get this drawer in. So I put these bolts in as I go, that way it's not going to move around too much as I'm drilling, and we won't end up at a weird angle. This one's a bit of a pain because it's right on the edge of the rib, but we'll make it work. Alright, so I've gone through and drilled all the holes. A couple of them I've had to move. This one I've actually had to re-drill just because there's a lot going on around here that's underneath. It's going to be really hard to get a bolt on. Whatever you do, when you're drilling the holes, make sure you look below. Make sure you don't go through fuel lines or brake lines or anything important. Then basically now, I'll go make up some spaces. I've measured it out. I'm going to use the thinner ones and just stack a couple of washers so I can get my 17mm where I need it. And then we'll bolt it down. So I've ended up going with 2 washers spaced on top. I've also had to cut them down just so they fit better in the slots here. Then we're good to go. So we'll throw them in, and then depending on how long your arms are, you're probably going to have to get someone to give you a hand just to hold a spanner on the underside. That way you can tighten them all up and throw the drawer in. So I'll just go ahead now and put all these spaces in. Well, I'm going to find myself a helper so I can tighten these all up, and then we can throw the drawer in. Alright, you got this one?
Yep.
Alright, the next one.
Okay, go.
And the lucky last, which is in here. So it's time now to get this drawer up and in the car. There you have it. That's locked in. Now get it out a bit. You got your locking tabs. Lock them in. Lock this tab in here. And that's it. So there you have it. It's all installed. Massive improvement of what I used to have in here. It's now fully sealed. It's got a rubber seal all the way around. The runners are also sealed, so that way if your tub gets dust or any water inside, it's not going to affect that. It also stops every 100mm, so that way if you're on a steep hill, it's not going to run you over. Then we've got lighting on the inside. We've got lights at the front. We've also got adjustable dividers. That way you can set it up exactly how you like, so when you're out full driving, you don't open the drawer and all your stuff's just everywhere. And on top of that, it's even carpet lined. So I look forward to giving this a bit of a run for its money. I tend to be a bit hard on the gear, so it should see me out. And being fully aluminium top, we've got an adjustable, throw your bolts in here, so you can put tie downs, or I'm probably gonna make a little divider so stuff doesn't fall into the other side where my fridge is. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with how it goes. I'll be doing a few small videos here and there on my Instagram as well, and probably my TikTok. So if you want to head over to there as well, feel free to watch them.